What's going on, Golf Addicts? DB here, and I've got two names that I'm avoiding, and I'm going to try to talk you into avoiding them in DFS for the Genesis Scottish Open 2022 from the Renaissance Club in North Berwick. Listen, I'm going to try to convince you. I did it last week. Both my guys missed the cut, so hopefully you tailed me last week on this video. Webb Simpson. Good Webb Simpson and Adam Hadwin both missed the cut. They were in this video last week. I'm going to try to convince you on two different guys this week, as neither one of those boys are playing in the Scottish Open. This is a strong field. It's a lot of fun. Let's get into it. The first one I'm going to give you is the cheaper player at $8,800, the 13th highest priced player in the field, and projected to be owned anywhere from around 13 to 17% right now. And it's a little early. It's Tuesday around 3 p.m. Eastern. We still haven't gotten tee times released just yet, so who knows what the wave possibilities could be, although the weather looks pretty benign for the most part here at the Renaissance Club. But Victor Hovland is the player that I'm going to try to convince you to fade at 8,800. I'm a little surprised that honestly he's up there at the projected around that 13 to 17% is what I'm seeing across most websites early in the projections. Okay, but here's the problem with Victor Hovland: very little links record, very little, even for a guy from Norway, I think, right? Very little links record. Spends very little time playing over here on the DP World Tour. Hard to find any events outside of some like Middle Eastern events that he's played in before. Obviously, a great ball striker. We do know that about Victor, right? But he's been a little off. Like, let's look at it. Miscut at the U.S. Open, 51st at Memorial. His last top 10 was in March. That was nearly 4 months ago at the Players' Championship, arguably due to a great wave advantage. But since then, like, it's just not been great. He hasn't been gaining strokes at massive clips with his approach play like we're used to seeing him do. He hasn't been as consistent off the tee. And for all the work that he said he's put in around the greens, like, look at these around the green numbers, just since this season kicked off here. Let's see, right around here. Like, the around the green numbers continue to be bad. In fact, he's worse in his last 5 to 10 tournaments as he's been long term since he got out on the PGA Tour. Now, the Scottish Open isn't set up to play super difficult this week because I think the wind is not going to play much of a factor. So, scoring right now is projected the winning score around over under 17 under. So, he may not have to scramble as much as he may have to next week when it gets, when he gets to the old course of the Open Championship, where it might be a little more difficult and hopefully the wind picks up. But just a very limited links record. The poor play, the around the green play not being great. He didn't play in the Irish Open, which is definitely an indicator for success for a lot of these guys. When they don't have a great links record, they need to come over and play the Irish the week before, kind of get it in their system. Maybe this is kind of the warm-up links event for him leading up to next week at the Open Championship. He also didn't play in this JP McManus Pro-Am deal over in Ireland. I don't know if he wasn't invited or if he just chose not to play it. But either way, it's not great. There's not a lot of experience there for Victor. He's not hitting it well. And I know he's at 8,800, but I mean, even at 8,800, like, if he's not going to be like sub 10%, I don't really know why I'd go in on him. I mean, obviously a lot of ownership's probably gravitating there to Jordan Spieth at 8,900. That's what I'm seeing early. But I'd much rather have Sung Jae or Joaquin Niemann that probably would come in around the same range as Victor Hovland. I'd rather have Cam Smith for sure at 9,100, or just drop down to the 8K and go Billy Horschel or some of those guys. I'm just not believing in what Victor Hovland's got cooking at the moment. So that's that. All right, before I get into the next pick, I asked this on the Sleepers video. If you've not checked that out, watch it. But we're playing in North Berwick, and North Berwick is a town that me and Pat just traveled to on our Scotland golf trip just a few weeks ago. And the North Berwick West Links course, not the one they're playing this week, is now my new favorite golf course in the world. Just from the golf course, the scenery, it was just amazing. It was spiritual. And I played the Augusta National. I played the old course at St. Andrews 2 days prior to playing North Berwick, and North Berwick is still my favorite. So I'm interested to know, put it in the comments, your favorite golf course anywhere in the world that you've ever played. Tell me what it is, where it is. I'll put it on the list, okay? Give the video a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And by the way, we've been, sneaking into some comments here over the last few weeks and sending some free gifts to some of our subscribers that comment on these videos, because when you comment, we can tell if you're a subscriber or not on the back end. So subscribe, comment, share, thumbs up, engage with the Tour Junkies content week in and week out. We would really appreciate it. It's free content for you. We don't put any ads in these videos in terms of YouTube ads that you got to skip around. So help us, okay, by spreading the love and spreading the word. All right, the last play that I'm going to give you is another guy with very little links record. And to me, that's a problem, even with the more benign conditions. If there's anything I learned playing Scotland golf a few weeks ago, even with no wind, the golf course, the way they play golf over there and the way you have to play golf over there is just so much different than what we see in the US. And Patrick Cantlay at 9,600, the sixth highest priced player in the field, projected between around that range of Hovland, anywhere from that 13 to 16% right now, which isn't super chalky by any means. But it's a sixth price player in the field. I'm obviously going to want Patrick Cantlay to pay off for me. But there's a couple things that I have problems with. First of all, is the very limited links record. Just like Victor Hovland, it's almost none. Even if you go way back, he's really only got 3 golf courses that you could argue are links tracks, and those are the 3 Open Championships he's played in. The last 2, he's gone 41st and miscut. He did have a T12 at the Open in 2018. That's it. That's it. So a miscut, a 41st, and a T12, 4 years ago, and he doesn't make an effort to go play any other links golf. I've not seen him in an Irish Open. This is his first Scottish Open. He also didn't play in this JP McManus Pro-Am deal. I don't know. Like, let's take a look at Patrick. The other thing is, like, have we really seen, like, Patrick Cantlay is definitely a dog, okay? And he's a world-class player, okay? World-class player. But in, like, some of these big events, he just kind of whiffs. You know what I mean? Like, he did play well at the US Open, 14th there. Missed the cut at the PGA. Disappointing finish at the Masters. I mean, there's 92 players in the Masters. He finished 39th. Missed cut at the Players. And I think he was on the poor side of the draw and almost made it through. He probably played pretty well there. Last year was the missed cut at the Open. Another good finish at the US Open. T23 at the PGA, okay. Another missed cut at the Masters, another missed cut at the Players. Like, Cantlay just seems to not quite do it in the majors and some of these, like, super strong field events the way that we'd like to see him do. Now, he did win the Memorial, right? He did win the BMW. I mean, he definitely could argue the other way. I'm just saying, for the type of player in my mind I see Patrick Cantlay as, he just disappoints in major championships, and this isn't a major by any means, but it's a really strong field. It's like just under the rating that the Genesis at Riviera is rated in terms of world golf rankings. So, and there's also this Live Tour stuff swirling around with Patrick Cantlay, right? He did a terrible job answering the Live Tour stuff. I think it was US Open week. I'd imagine he's going to get possibly some questions about that leading up to that. Who knows where he's at there? I don't know. It's the main thing is sixth highest priced player in the field and very little links record to speak of whatsoever. So I'll gladly pivot and play somebody else in this stacked field. Colin Morikawa is right there underneath him, and he's actually got the same or maybe more of a links record, links history than Patrick Cantlay does, and he's actually projected on some sites to be lower owned than Cantlay right now. So I'm interested in that. I think a lot of ownership's going to gravitate to Xander, maybe Will Zalatoris. Everybody's chomping at the bit to play again. Sam Burns, I think, is getting talked up pretty good, but I'd rather go ahead down to Cam Smith maybe, or jump up to JT. I just don't like Cantlay's lack of experience on links tracks and the sixth priced player in the field. That's it for me. Those are 2 guys to consider avoiding in DFS lineups this week for the 2022 Genesis Scottish Open. Thanks for watching, and may your screens be green. See ya.